I would like you to give your opinion on the differences and similarities between the Zeitgeist movement and anarchism as a movement, as an ideology.
You mean, well, there's a number of different schools of anarchism. You mean communist anarchist? You mean capitalist anarchist? You mean anarchist?
The anarchist, let's say.
I have no idea what the anarchist actually is. I'm saying, I want to know what you're saying, though. Please describe to me what you're talking about, so I know.
How many of these core, let's say, ideologies of anarchism, which are connected with basically I don't know how to explain it right now because it would take too much time. Basically, anarchism is in this core meaning of rule, no rule, and the society without any form of oppression or rule or
sure.
Hierarchical structure.
I can relate to that. I think in the context of a capitalist anarchist, which I'm familiar with, they look at any act of what they call coercion, so anybody imposing their will on somebody else, as morally unjustifiable, and they present lots of arguments for that. I think all of those things that are trying to stop oppression of society are all well and good, but if you look at the framework of the synergy of our relationship to each other on this planet, in the environment that we're in, the pressures that are created, you cannot reduce coercion to just behavioral action. It's actually a process. You know, when someone mugs you on the street and takes your money, that's an act of coercion, obviously. But yet, you don't know what happened to that person in their life to deprive them to such a degree where they are forced to do that. That might not have been what they wanted to do at all. There was a story that happened in New York. A mugger went in and was right down the street from me, and he stole some food, actually just robbed the cashier. And then a year later, he went back and paid the cashier back and apologized and explained why he did what he had to do because of pressures in his family. So a lot of that stuff flies out the window with me when you think about non-coercion as a universal principle, because it only thinks about behavioral or policy stuff, you know, taxation or tariffs, if you want to talk about economic coercion. I think it all falls flat. If you have, I would say this proportion is what is caused by the coercive negativity caused by human behavior alone, if you will, if there's even such a thing, and this is the coercion that's is a consequence of our inefficient system. And not to mention, as a final point, nature is inherently coercive. We can't just do anything we want. I can't run up this wall and run on the ceiling. I just can't do that. So there are laws that restrict our behavior, hence the sustainability and efficiency laws. So rather than think about people imposing upon you, which I think is where anarchism kind of is rooted, let's remember that their behavior is a consequence of influence, and also remember that we have to be sustainable and efficient. Therefore, we have to follow some set of rules.